She had a root canal. That was part of it, but it didn't help the situation at all. So she's got to get something else done.
That's why I was asking. She might have gotten a dry side where it didn't bleed, didn't find.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm not for sure. We're gonna go ahead and get into this. Elder, you mind leading us in prayer real quick?
Abba Yah, we thank you for this day and the joy of gathering here on your feast this week of Sukkot, and we're here to get inspiration and let your Ruach Kadash enter into our hearts and our minds there, Yahuwah. So we will go ahead and get this daily bread this evening and, hey, come out of it, your people come out of it today as much more wiser with some more wisdom. In Hamashiach's name, so be it.
So be it. So, I know we've been going over the prodigal son and different histories today. We're kind of taking a break. We'll get back into that tomorrow. Today, the lesson is tentatively titled The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games. So before we get into that, we're going to go to Psalms 113. Because, like you said, we need that inspiration for what this feast is really supposed to be about, right? So, and it reads, "Praise you, Yahuwah. Praise, O you servants of Yahuwah. Praise the name of Yahuwah. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah from this time forth and forevermore. From the rising of the sun until the going down of the same, Yahuwah's name is to be praised. Yahuwah is high above all nations, and his glory above the heavens. Who is like unto Yahuwah our Elohim, who dwelleth on high?" So one of the reasons why we're ringing this is because this is what they've termed one of the Hallel Psalms. So traditionally, going back to when they were keeping this feast day in ancient times, this would be one of the songs that they would sing, right? There's like 6 or 7 different psalms that they would particularly just be reciting over and over and over again. Psalms 113 to Psalms 118, right? Those are called the Hallel Psalms, in case I didn't know that. So we'll keep going. "Who humbleth himself to behold the things that are in heaven and in the earth. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifted the needy out of the dunghill, that he may set him with princes, even the princes of his people." So this is talking about the Israelites, right? "He maketh the barren woman to keep house, and to be a joyful mother of children. Praise you, Yahuwah." So again, this is one of the psalms that they would just recite over and over and over again throughout this week. So this particular feast is like the joyous feast. So 7 days you're supposed to be praising the Most High, giving gratitude and praise to the Most High. And then on the 8th day is like a solemn assembly, right? Because we got to get to the finality of what the Feast of Tabernacles is really supposed to be about. So now we're going to go to Psalms 114. Go in there. Get. "When Israel went out of Egypt, the house of Jacob from a people of strange language. Judah was his sanctuary," get up, "and Israel his dominion. The sea saw it and fled. Jordan was driven back. The mountains skipped like rams, and the little hills like lambs. What ailed you, O you sea, that you fleddest, you Jordan, that you were driven back, you mountains, that you skipped like rams, and you little hills like lambs. Tremble, you earth, at the presence of Yahuwah, at the presence of the Elohim of Yaakov, which turned the rock into a standing water, the flint into a fountain of waters. So in this time, what should we be meditating on, Elder?
Right now, we should be meditating, because this whole feast of Sukkot is how the Most High, our King, dwelt with us for those 40 years by a pillar of fire,
Pillar of
at
cloud.
night and
Cloud by
and
day.
cloud by day. He was with us, just as he's with us right here in the midst. He says, "With two or more gathered." So
Right.
he's never left us. It's, he knows, hey, all our trials and tribulations, but it's all this here had to take place. It's not that he's ever forsaken us. And right now, he's showing his mighty hand here ever since 2019.
Boy.
The year of return.
Mm.
All these nations. Our focus mainly we do because we live right here in damn America, but it's all over. All these European nations is catching it. He's showing his hand. What did he say? He says eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and he says that he refuses to let anybody steal his glory. He said they're going to know that he, is our Elohim, and we were always the apple of his eye.
No argument with that. You're right. We're supposed to be focusing on the manifestation of the kingdom of the Most High. Because when we tabernacle with him, the whole kingdom, the whole story, when it comes to the gospel, is really coming into fruition. So that's a kingdom to where we're not going to be crying no more. We're not going to be worried about oppressors. We can worship the Most High without fear. We won't be worried about religion, racism, eugenics, none of this other type stuff. Right? It's the finality. So the people that are actually keeping the Feast of Tabernacles are showing the Most High that they believe in his word. Because what do they teach us? That the whole Old Testament is done away with.
Right.
Well, that includes the Feast of Tabernacles, when he tabernacles with man. Like when they be saying these things, I'm like, do y'all understand what y'all are trying to indicate? Because that doesn't make sense. That means that y'all actually don't believe in the word. Because the word says that everyone is going to be keeping this feast day in the future, around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to be mandatory. But again, we live in Babylon, which is confusion by mixing. So the world is in disarray, right? So fair use. This is for educational and training purposes. Now, are y'all aware that Elon Musk said this? Elon Musk, he predicts that on X that artificial intelligence and robots will replace human jobs, every human job, making work optional in an era of abundance. In response to Amazon's plans to automate up to 600,000 roles by 2033. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's only like 8 years from now. Am I tweaking? All jobs are going to be automated, is what they're trying to do. Even truck driving, because you know what? Amazon, they're going to try to use Amazon to replace truck driving.
Mm-hmm.
The statement garnered endorsements for universal basic income from Senator Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang, who emphasized the need for policies to ensure technology benefits all workers and potential job losses. Critics and experts warn of economic disruptions and inequality, there's always inequality, without proper safeguards, while forecasting both job displacements and new opportunities from AI advancements. If you're eliminating 600,000 jobs, there's not going to be a lot of advancements for mankind.
Right.
This is what they're planning. I'm telling you, if something don't end up happening, it's going to be a strange world that we live in. They talking about in 8 years. Go ahead.
China is already doing it.
Oh yeah, you know China's always at the forefront.
They're 100 years.
We about to talk
ahead.
about China here in a second.
They're 100 years ahead of us.
Yeah, because they already have the full market beast system and everything. They have their social system already completely set up. You say something against they president, whoever's in charge, they gonna cut your wad off. They gonna cut everything off. So now, are y'all aware? Again, fair use. This is for educational and training purposes. That Trump pretty much done it again. Yeah.
It's a cross-border fight between the United States and Canada over the words and legacy of Ronald Reagan today after President Trump objected to this ad produced by the province of Ontario using a Reagan speech on tariffs. It's a cross-border fight between the United States and Canada over the words and legacy of Ronald Reagan today after President Trump objected to this ad produced by the province of Ontario using a Reagan speech on tariffs from 1987. In it, Reagan says, over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker and consumer. Now, that provoked President Trump to lash out in a late-night social media post, calling the ad fake and saying they only did this to interfere with the decision of the U.S. Supreme Court and other courts. Tariffs are very important to the national security and economy of the USA. Based on their egregious behavior, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. And the Ronald Reagan Foundation issued a statement saying the ad used selective audio and video and misrepresents the April 25, 1987 radio address by Ronald Reagan. Ontario Premier Doug Ford responded to the president in a social media post of his own saying, Canada and the United States are friends, neighbors, and allies. President Ronald Reagan knew that we are stronger together. God bless Canada and God bless the United States. No word yet from the White House on what the plan is now for talks between the two countries, which have been ongoing since Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney visited the White House earlier this month. And guys, I should tell you that we went back and compared the edited version that was aired in this Canadian ad of that Ronald Reagan speech with the actual Ronald Reagan speech from April 25th, 1987. The ad did cut and splice some of the words of the president and rearrange the order of the words. But the parts of the radio address that they took out of the ad because it was too long are actually more critical of tariffs than some of the parts that they used in the ad. In the other parts of the speech that were not aired here, Reagan goes on to say that tariffs were part of the cause of deepening the Great Depression and saying that they cause American companies to be less competitive. So the president there, President Reagan that is, very critical throughout that speech of tariffs, guys. It's a cross-border fight between the United States
In all negotiations between us and Canada? Y'all boy, wow, man.
Because he said it was fake, but it's real.
It's a real.
Yeah. It was short. The Republican president said tariffs are bad. It led to the Great Depression. He had a late night tweet war and said, "Oh, we done." So it just goes to show anything you say negative against this man, he's a cult leader.
This is not a democracy.
This is a cult leader because if I'm looking on stuff that they say on social media,
Yep.
and if you disagree against him,
Yep.
they're jumping and attacking that person.
Yep.
I'm like, this don't make no sense. This is cult.
He's got his own Bible, and he's their Messiah or their God. It's weird, if you ask me.
Well, you know, when you talk about these tariffs, the next thing is this straight up sanctions. And a lot of people don't realize that one of the reasons that, and it's not taught in United States history, but the reason that Japan bombed Pearl Harbor was because the United States, Japan had resources that the United States wanted. They didn't want to do business with the United States under their terms, so the United States put sanctions on Japan. Well, when you put sanctions on a country, that's basically sort of an act of war.
Yeah.
It's a cold war, you know. So what choice if you take a rat and you put a rat in the corner, you think a little rat is not going to come out fighting you back in the corner?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what else is he supposed to do? Just die? No. It's a weird world we live in because to certain people, he can do no wrong. The Republicans are in charge of the House and the Senate, and the government's still shut down. Like, I don't care what nobody says, you cannot make that compute to me. That don't make no sense. So you were talking about China. Fair use is for educational and training purposes, right? China is a very big threat to the United States, right? Okay.
60 Minutes Overtime.
In your view, China is preparing the ground for what?
In the view of U.S. intelligence officials and government leaders now for years, China is preparing to be able to fight and defeat the United States military in a war.
This week on 60 Minutes, we report on concerns that China might be plotting to weaponize land that it has in the United States and giant data centers that it is building here. The worry in Washington is that these assets could be used for espionage or to cause havoc.
Network, y'all realize it went down, was it yesterday or the day before, right? Out of nowhere. And there's all these little weird outages and stuff that be going on, and I'll be trying to tell people, we be getting hacked and they don't want to listen to nobody. I'm like, okay, y'all think we so advanced? You hear what even the government is fearing. Okay, we'll keep going.
In a time of war.
There is Chinese ownership of all kinds of assets in the United States that pose a range of national security threats, some of which we've begun to kind of recognize and mitigate in recent years, and some of which I think we need a lot more work to recognize and to address through policy.
We spoke with David Feith. In the first Trump administration, he worked on U.S.-China policy for the State Department. Until recently, Feith worked in Trump's second administration on the National Security Council. And while there, he grew alarmed as China bought up American farmland. Farmland? Why would that be a problem?
The ability to own large tracts of land, especially close to sensitive U.S. military and government facilities, can pose an enormous problem given the nature of technology today, which is that a hostile actor from across the world can very easily exploit access to land, access to buildings and warehouses, access just to a shipping container or two, and do enormous damage, either in intelligence terms or in military terms. Look at what the Ukrainians, for example, did to the Russians just a few months ago by sending a shipping container full of autonomous drones deep into Russia, opening the container and unleashing the drones against Russia's nuclear bomber fleet when it was on the ground, carrying out an enormously successful attack for the Ukrainians. And China has, through its ownership of assets, including farmland in the United States, far more operating room.
You don't necessarily have to have an intercontinental ballistic missile anymore.
Certainly not.
Because of drones.
Exactly. And it's an entirely new way of war.
This fear is why in 2023, North Dakota politicians blocked a Chinese company from building a corn mill near an Air Force base. At the time, the company denied it would use the mill to spy on or harm the United States. China isn't the only nation buying American farmland. As of 2023, non-Americans own about 45 million acres, or about 3.5% of agricultural land in the U.S. That's up about 70% from a decade earlier. Canadians own about a third of that, while Chinese nationals own just under 1%, or 277,000 acres. But that's enough to grab the attention of politicians. There's no federal law stopping foreigners from buying American farmland, but 29 states now limit it or ban it altogether. The Trump Agriculture Department says it will work with Congress to stop countries like China from buying land in the future. Beyond the farm, Feith says there is growing concern about Chinese crypto mines in the United States. Those are the giant data centers that support cryptocurrency. Feith believes that they could be used for espionage or to sabotage the electric grid.
They're effectively enormous and enormously powerful data centers. The first threat they pose is for intelligence collection, and the second threat is that they can sabotage the power grid because they draw so much power.
Paint that scenario for me. How would that happen?
These crypto mines are so power hungry. They draw so much power in order to power the computations that allow the mining of the cryptocurrency that really at any time of choosing, they can sabotage the grid in their area. And the fact that these mines, these large, powerful data centers, are so often located near sensitive U.S. military facilities underscores why this would be a potential catastrophe in crisis or conflict with China.
How extensive is the infiltration?
It's a nationwide problem.
Now, a Chinese company operating in the United States would say, we're a private enterprise. We're not involved with the Chinese government.
Those claims are completely inconsistent with Chinese law and Chinese policy. Chinese law, in black letters, demands the cooperation of Chinese companies. So unfortunately, those kind of assurances are inconsistent with the way we know that Xi Jinping and the Chinese government operate.
What's at stake?
The threat that China poses, being a more capable rival to us than any we faced in the past, is that in ways that no American in living memory can understand, they could have a role in the future of the world economy, in the commanding heights of future technology, and then in our lives, in our backyards, in our politics, that would be different and far worse than anything that Americans have seen for generations.
All of this stuff going on, and Congress can't figure stuff out. We know Babylon is falling. So again, this lesson is tentatively titled The Hunger Games. And fair use, this is for educational and training purposes because we know what the government just did. And now the people of other nations are starting to see that we're all kind of in the same boat now.
Oh, what the government just do?
Well, with the SNAP, we're just talking about the SNAP benefits. That's why I called it the Hunger Games, right?
Yeah.
Because, they used to say that, we're the main ones on, SNAP benefits and all this.
That's a whole lot of. That's a whole lot.
So, fair use. This way.
Man, I hell EBT gets cut off November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Not only because it would just be good for everybody to see all the welfare queens be exposed for the deadbeat parents they absolutely are, but mostly because it would be really nice to just pay 30 to 40% less for all my goddamn groceries.
I keep hearing about these welfare queens that are going to get exposed because SNAP benefits have essentially been cut off because of the government shutdown, and how everybody who is not on SNAP is absolutely excited and thrilled because of the lazy welfare quote unquote queens that are on SNAP. And so they're going to have to suffer now because of all of their laziness. But, reality does not line up with what is being promoted all of the time. And so we're going to take a look at who the real welfare queens in America are.
Finally, you get to see the true America. The stipulation has always been that black people are lazy, that black people are on welfare. Well, guess what? A lot of poor white people in the red states are now crying that they're not getting the EBT money from the EBT cards. Why? Because they are on welfare. They have 7 and 8 kids. Now the truth is coming out since Trump has slashed funding for the EBT and the SNAP programs. You see how many white people now are on welfare. So all this mythical stuff about black people being on welfare, oh, it's the blacks, it's the blacks, it's the blacks. Now you're seeing the real America, that it's not only black people on welfare, that there are a lot of white people on welfare also. There are a lot of white
That's on it too. But a lot of people are getting too comfortable with depending on the government, and Trump and them is literally showing you, we don't care about y'all. Because again, they have the House and the Senate. How the heck did the government shut down? And then you don't care about people eating? No. I don't think it's going to last too much longer personally, but with him, there's no telling. There's no telling what's going to happen. We'll be back.
But as far as FBA's Foundation of Black Americans, we only make up maybe 20%. No, I don't even think it's 20% in this country. More like 18% in this country.
We're 14%.
14%?
14%.
So,
population.
at 14% FBAs, so that means that you talk about, what 86% of other ethnic groups out there, predominantly white European. That's, so we're gonna be all right, really.
Everything's a building block. Because again, he just like I didn't heard of people cutting the water off, but he cut the food off. Like dude is crazy, man. I don't know.
Wait, pretty soon you're gonna have people looting.
That's what I'm saying. You got to think now. If it is come November 1st, and these people don't get food, y'all better be careful.
Because most of them ain't working. You know, they ain't
So-
got no source of income coming in.
I wouldn't be surprised if people just gonna be lurking at grocery stores, just trying to catch you slipping on the way out.
Yeah, that's gonna be all.
Look,
the rest of them, yeah.
that's why I said this is a Hunger Games, because when people go hungry and they got kids, they'll do whatever it take.
Yeah.
And that's people of all nations. I'm not just talking. This is not a race thing.
Yeah.
This is everybody need to stay vigilant and tribe up if you're not tribing up. Like,
Stay aware, stay alive.
yes.
Is that accelerating for the, because
Yeah.
we had a crossroads
Yep.
Yeah.
of systems
Mhm.
Yeah.
this year.
Mhm.
And so the rest of this year, expect anything.
Yeah, everything's coming
Anything
to
can
a
happen.
head.
Even just the rain that we just got. It don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
This late in October, like really?
Well, think about it, it's been 80, 90 degrees whole October and September. Like, it don't ever just want that long.
But rain?
Yeah. No.
So, and go ahead, Elder. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna piggyback off what you said there, teacher, that, about, them sitting back and probably trying to pick you off at one of these grocery stores.
Oh, yes.
Hey, not just that, following you to your home,
Yep.
huh?
Breaking your home.
Because look,
Home or not at home.
we don't trust them YNs either. So no, like you better be paying attention. Again, this is not a race thing. I know how she titled the video, but this is everybody just need to be vigilant because if it is come November 1st and the food ain't cut back on,
Yeah. Well,
you think that you don't want the National Guard involved.
the first is only, 7 days away.
He got 7 days. What are you gonna say, Jerome?
It's strategic.
You know it.
Because what do most of the United States celebrate during November? and December?
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So they're preparing to get their families and have big celebrations and these extravagant dinners.
Yep.
And you telling them, we might not have no food.
Yeah. Better get some ramen noodles and lunch meat. Make that
There's a chance that
Yeah.
They're too used to splurging instead of
Yeah.
actually getting food that's gonna last them.
Yep.
And I mean, psychological welfare is right here because I'm like, mind you, I'm a government worker. I get no paycheck. I'm not out here tripping. We stocked up years ago. Like we got food from whenever because we're like, well, if something happens.
You never
And
know.
whatever savings I put aside, I always like to keep so much in the savings just in case.
Yep.
No federal government workers talking about they're gonna go and rob somebody and stuff like we really didn't get paid.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're just like, okay, well, when are we gonna go back to work?
Right.
But then as soon as they touch bases with the low poverty,
Yeah.
they're not thinking right.
'Cause
Because all they know was, I'm gonna leech off the government. And a
Government
lot of them
decisions.
do, leech off the government.
Yeah.
Oh, they caught my food stamps, I'm gonna go riot, I'm gonna go steal money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
that's the trigger. They want them to act
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
But
That's
we have
fine.
to be,
Anarchy.
To make a martial
Yeah.
law.
yes.
To make a what?
Martial law.
It's a plan, and that's what they're not understanding, is that they want you to go out and riot and get belligerent.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't do nothing when the federal workers, because we were just like, okay, well, I got too much to lose to go out there and act a fool.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and hit it where it counts.
Yeah.
Has anybody thought about really on the spiritual level where we at that Yahuwah our King hates these satanic holidays?
Yeah.
And he's been probably waiting. Probably the watchers, in heaven probably been waiting, rubbing their hands, waiting.
Like it's almost time.
When you gonna let us go ahead and wreak havoc on the
He said my
world?
sickle clean too.
On Thanksgiving, on Christmas.
But if they didn't celebrate them holidays, it wouldn't matter.
Exactly.
I'm like, well,
Exactly.
I don't know what y'all gonna do, but we gonna eat every day.
Something's gonna trigger the 31st.
Yeah.
Something that's gonna trigger the 31st.
So you ain't lying, the 31st. And then imagine, what if next week one of the courts go ahead and allow Trump to let the troops go into Chicago, and then no food stamps.
Yeah.
Well, they already allowed them to go in Portland. They said Portland.
That's why I said Chicago.
I didn't, she just made sense because the 31st.
Mm-hmm. Because there's already a different spirit on the 31st anyway.
The first is the day that they release the food, and
you ain't got no food.
Boy,
And
it might literally be a bloody Halloween. Be careful. Be careful.
People, a lot of poor people living in those red states, and those red states that voted for Trump are now getting hit hard.
So I posted about white folks on food stamps, and one thing I kept seeing was that welfare was created for white people. I knew that it was created during the New Deal, so I did some more research because I didn't really know the whole story, and I thank you guys for responding and helping me learn stuff. So during the Great Depression is when we saw the beginning of things like Social Security, unemployment insurance. But here's the kicker. When Franklin Roosevelt built those programs, he had to make deals with Southern Democrats in Congress, the same folks who were big fans of Jim Crow, to get the support of these racist white Southern politicians. The programs were designed to exclude farm workers, domestic workers, jobs held overwhelmingly by Black, Latino, and Indigenous people. So right from the start, Black and brown families were pushed out of benefits so that white people could get them. Then we move forward to the 1960s, and there's this war on poverty. It finally opened up welfare programs more broadly, and that's when food stamps became permanent. Well, permanent, we don't know what Trump's going to do to them, but they lasted a long time. And guess what? The minute more Black and brown families started accessing this help, the politics shifted. Welfare got a new image and a new target. By the 1980s and 90s, with Ronald Reagan and his gang, they pushed the welfare queen myth. That's a racist dog whistle meant to turn public opinion against safety nets by blaming Black women for poverty.
Yeah, like that I'm not a Indian or a Negro. Like, why are we always the target? Why we always gotta catch strays? We just trying to live. It's something weird, bro. Like, so you just decide just to switch. Like, well, we're gonna make sure that they don't have access to it. Now that they have access, we gotta make them be the poster child for everything bad in it. They're the image of it. Like, man, this is what happens when we forsake the Most High. What, Jerome?
They're saying this, but the brown-skinned people got less.
Yeah, of course.
Their counterparts.
Of course.
I'm a living witness because there were 7 of us in the house. We got $100 in food stamps.
There you gotta be.
Are you kidding me?
7 people, 5 kids, 2 adults, teenagers.
Wow.
What year was it?
2000.
Yeah, it was definitely in the 2000s. Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, it was definitely in the early 2000s.
And we got $100, but the people across that had 3 kids got $800-900, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I said, I don't even want it. No, we don't even want it. But we had to keep it we had to keep it
Right.
in order to keep the health insurance for
Yep.
the kids.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take this, you don't need the health insurance.
Right.
I'm like, the only thing we need is the health insurance. No, you can't. And my mom was the same way. They give her $50 a month in food stamps.
Yeah.
$50, cancer, stage 4.
Yeah.
That was, she said, I don't want this. Well, if you don't take this, you don't get the medical treatment that you need.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, you get $50.
Yeah, that's how we were too.
$50. I'm a
It
bad
was,
sis.
it was low. We only got like $250, and mind you, this is 5 kids and myself, and I was like working a part-time job with my sister's kids and my kids. So yeah, and we were struggling. That's all. You got all these other people. They get $600 a month. And I'm like, how y'all getting that much?
Yeah.
It's all about who's behind typing and putting in the numbers. That's who it is.
You gotta be
And I
careful.
work for DHS. I know who's getting it.
Yeah.
So when this happens, a lot of these teachers out here, they're gonna be out of luck.
Yeah.
That's why it was so important for me to learn from the elders on
Yep.
how to cook,
Yeah.
to make stuff from scratch, because the stuff I made from scratch lasts longer than I went to the store.
Yep.
Yeah.
Growing up, the kids didn't have store-bought cookies. I made it from scratch. You can make a lot of cookies out of a bag of flour, eggs, and some sugar, and some butter. And we forsake our elders that was trying to teach us how to make stuff stretch.
Yeah.
Beans and rice. I don't want no beans and rice, but now
Hey, but when the time gets tough,
Yeah.
But they,
trust me, I don't like beans at all. But I see what's coming too.
and the thing is like they don't want to listen now. Like they had about a 2-week warning.
Yeah.
They were like, spend the rest of y'all food stamps in this month. I'm like, you should still have food stamps left. I literally sent my daughter was like, okay, here's the article. This is what's happening. You need to go get some beans, some rice, anything that's non-perishable canned foods, and stock up because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We don't.
Did she listen?
No.
No, but I'm like, y'all, potatoes, like you can make a good meal with like a couple potatoes, some beans and rice, and tortillas. If you got flour, you can make all kinds of stuff with it.
But I still don't understand. You get $1,000 a month in food stamps. How's it all gone?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what. So now, that's what we're gonna keep going in this video because this is about to. Some of this stuff is about to shock you.
That's how they,
that white policies created. That's the truth, you guys. So yes, welfare was built for white people, and when others finally got in the door, they tried to burn the house down. If you want to blame the right people, you got to get curious.
The first person to use food stamps in the United States was Mabel McFiggin in Rochester, New York on May 16, 1939. According to the USDA, black people could not receive food stamps until 1964.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350.
Yeah,
that's a couple paychecks.
he getting 2,800. That's what. Boy, I was shocked. I said, what?
$2,800.
2,800. You got 40 kids?
That's a couple paychecks, bro.
$2,800 in food stamps, and y'all couldn't get more than 100?
Yeah.
That's insane.
You more than
I'm
250?
telling you, like it's all who's behind typing.
Speechless.
I can fill up the deep freeze here at home and a couple more of my
We
family.
have overstock. We have overstock.
A month though. So you could just like, okay, this month we're filling y'all's up, and then you just rotate throughout the year, like, okay, 2,800.
Do you know how many families you can feed for $2,800
Bro,
in food
you
stamps?
should have something left over every month.
Yeah.
Every month.
That is insane.
At least about what?
He upset man.
All you need
I'm gonna rewind it so y'all can hear him again, so y'all know that.
No.
28.
Say what?
You got to get curious.
The first person to use food stamps in the United States was Mabel McFiggin in Rochester, New York on May 16, 1939. According to the USDA, black people could not receive food stamps until 1964.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? Huh? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay, I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills.
He said, what am I supposed to do? I'm not about to go to work till I'm 50 and 60.
No, 50, working 50, 60 hours.
Or 50, 60 hours.
Yeah, he's gonna be at home with his kids.
He's still getting $350 though. I mean, you could do something with that. That ain't. That's exactly y'all two combined.
The F on your refrigerator up.
He's selling those stamps.
You know he's been selling them stamps.
He gotta pay.
He probably sell $1,800 of it. Probably keep the last grand for himself.
Yeah.
Making a killing. That was his job, selling them stamps.
Literally.
Very useless for educational and training purposes.
I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country.
Thanks to the Democrats, I may not get food stamps next month. I've been checking here lately, I don't know why. Trying to hold this phone steady.
And we have this comment here. I mean, who gives a f***? You're not talking about how white people get food stamps and then sell their food stamps for cash and then use that cash to buy drugs. I don't see any of you all talking about that.
Walked in one by one, some hung their heads, others wore their feelings right there on their t-shirts. Today, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office announced an undercover operation they've been working on for months, resulted in more than 100 arrest warrants and close to 40 arrests.
This is a huge problem, and we're like one of maybe 3 or 4 law enforcement agencies in the state of Florida that have decided to do something about this.
And it has to do with just that. Meal tickets in the form of EBT cards for low-income individuals being fraudulently used. One part of the investigation centered around Gerald Millis, a local restaurant owner who police say purchased EBT cards from people for 50 to 60 cents on the dollar, and then stocked his local Pizza Pros restaurant with food he bought using those cards.
Business owner.
Yeah. He was hustling.
He said he couldn't pass up a sale.
Yeah, he was hustling.
Can't make this stuff up.
He came with you.
We were able to determine that he used 53 different EBT cards at Sam's Club.
Police say 55 people were also caught illegally selling their EBT cards to undercover detectives.
A couple of them said, "I'm headed to go get some rock cocaine."
A beyond frustrating reality for taxpayers who today learned their hard-earned money is being misused.
You have no idea how the world actually works. So imagine, if you will, if you created a video game, and of course the video game has a set of rules, then you decided to go against all those rules. So now it's just this free-for-all shit show where everybody's kind of doing whatever they want.
We're not feeding the babies we have. Why does the government want more? We're not feeding the babies we have. Why does the government want more? I know you're thinking, what's your statistic? Where's your proof that we're not feeding the babies we have? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that my toddler's daycare just opened a food bank in the lobby. My toddler's daycare just opened a food bank in the lobby because his classmates might not be able to eat. We got the government. Who's in charge of SNAP benefits? The government that's in charge of food, the government that decides where our money is going to go, is going to give $40 billion to Argentina.
For Argentina, what's the benefit for United States in helping this way Argentina?
Just helping a great philosophy take over a great country. Argentina is one of the most beautiful countries that I've ever seen. And we want to see it succeed. Very simple. I mean, we don't have to do it. It's not going to make a big difference for our country. It's not going to make a big difference for our country. It's not going to make a big difference for our country, but it will in terms of South America. If Argentina does well, you're going to have others following.
They're going to build a ballroom to have big old gilded dances. They're going to send how much money for missiles, but the babies we already got, we're not going to feed. We already don't feed the babies. And the government's out here saying we're under-babied. We're not under-babied. We're underpaid. You want more babies? Pay us. Give us the money to feed our kids. Could you try that? Could you think that one through?
Just so we're aware, it costs about $8 billion a month for food shares for the American people, right? So if they're going to shut it down, and they aren't going to pay out food shares in the month of November, I think it's important that the 70% of people that voted for this administration that are on food stamps understand that the $40 billion that went to Argentina could have went to 5 months worth of food shares while we figure this government shutdown out. This is not on the Democrats. This is on the choices that this administration is making to harm the American people, to harm their own voters. 70%. 70%. 5 months. Remember the numbers. They matter.
Over and over again, I keep getting told it's our fault. It's our fault that America's this way. Well, it's real crazy. When I look at this government, with how much money they make and how many vacations they get to use, tell me how we don't get paid family leave. Tell me how the minimum wage at $7.25 just makes just enough sense.
With food stamps already being taken away, a Walmart already got it. And this is not going to be the first by taking away the EBT stamps, especially right before Thanksgiving, right before holidays. And if they think the American people are going to be okay with it, you think the American people are going to go starving? Yeah, you got it all the way. Expect way more riots at the grocery stores, at Walmart, at Target, wherever EBT accepted at, yeah. Because apparently the only place that is still getting EBT is New York City and California. But what about the rest of the thousands of millions of people who literally...
Is that actually, is that AI, or is that actually happened with Brady story?
Well, I think that's in times past.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's in times past. She's just saying more than likely what's going to happen if they don't cut the food back on.
So that's something that happened some years ago?
Yeah.
California and New York.
depend EBT for food.
You see, there are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to the whole situation of government assistance benefits of any capacity, whether it's EBT or Section 8 or Medicaid or Medicare. All of these things that were put in place originally for Caucasians. And as the woman who noted in the earlier video, that once Black and brown people started to take advantage of these things because obviously they were boxed out of good jobs, that's when the whole image of EBT switched. But the greater issue that is looming ahead that so many people are forgetting is detailed in this next person's account.
If you are naive enough to think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps, I want you to hear this. About 1 in 8 Americans receive SNAP benefits. In fact, in Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits. But you're not one of those people, so you don't care. But hang with me. When those benefits go away, just about $9 billion in grocery spending vanishes. So you've got to be thinking about not just the grocery stores being able to stay open and pay their employees, but you have to think about the entire supply chain, trucks on the road, people who provide food to these grocery stores. $9 billion. Every dollar spent in SNAP benefits adds about $1.50 to $1.80 to the economy. So cutting those benefits isn't saving that dollar, it's taking away that $1.50 to your local economy. But you don't receive SNAP benefits, you don't work for a grocery store, you don't drive a truck, you don't. But when all of those things happen, the only way to combat that is to drastically increase the price of groceries. Grocery prices are already up over 3% in 2025 alone, which is almost an entire percentage higher than the average increase in grocery prices over the last 20 years. I thought they were supposed to go down day one though. So even if SNAP benefits only pause for 1 month, which by the way would be detrimental to all the people I mentioned before that you don't give a shit, it will cost the economy roughly $13 to $14 billion in profit. And you can expect your grocery prices in just that 1 month to go up at least 1%. And states will stand to lose about $300 to $500 million in sales tax revenue. So even if you do not receive SNAP benefits, you never have, you never will, you do not want these to be paused on November 1st.
So let me get this straight. They cut food stamps because they said, people can just go to food banks. That was their plan. That was their solution to hunger in America. And then those same people turned around and cut $500 million in funding to those same food banks. $500 million gone just like that. How sick is that? This isn't just some policy disagreement. This is cruelty. Straight up, calculated, disgusting cruelty. People are going to go hungry. Kids, seniors, working families, people already hanging on by a thread, all because some rich assholes in suits think they're too good to care. And here's the thing, like it or not, there will always be people in our society who need help. That's not a failure, that's just reality. And it's okay. Not everyone can work. Not everyone has family to fall back on. Not everyone gets a fair shot. That's why safety nets exist. That's why we're supposed to give a shit to each other. But instead, the people in charge, the Schumers, the Cruzes, all of them, they gut programs people rely on, then they pat themselves on the back for being fiscally responsible. Like starving your own citizens is some kind of budget win? That. We are the richest country on earth. If we can fund wars, bail out banks, and give billionaires tax breaks, then we can damn well feed people. This system is broken. It's mean. And it's designed to stay that way unless we call this every single time. So keep the receipts and don't let these assholes pretend this is anything but what it is. An attack on people who need help most.
People frequently claim that immigrants and poor black families are living off the system. They're on welfare. They're mooching. But here is the truth. The majority of people on public assistance in the United States of America are white, and most of them have jobs. They just don't make enough money to survive without a little bit more because wages are low, rent is high, a lot of jobs don't come with benefits anymore. You can't have a job without a cell phone. You can't even find a job without the internet. But it's not poor people who are eating up the most dollars in public assistance. Nope, it's the middle class. It's people who can take mortgage deductions and, of course, corporations cashing in on subsidies. But nobody calls that a handout. SNAP, Medicaid, housing assistance, those aren't loopholes to help billionaires save some more money and line their pockets so that they can get more yachts or whatever they do with it. They're lifelines for millions of people. And here's the kicker. Those programs keep all of us safer and more stable. If you're mad that someone's getting help, maybe just look at why they need it, not just who they are. Think about this. A friend of mine said he grew up in a third world country, and he said that in those countries, petty theft and, pickpocketing and crimes like that are common because people have to do that to get enough money to buy food and to pay for a place to stay. That's going to happen in our country if we don't get curious about where the waste in our government really exists.
The elitists know how to play on the senses and
pretty good. The truth behind the matter, it's really not a race thing, but if we're being technical, she let everybody know. This Hunger Game thing, this is a test. Look, man. Look, have we not for years? Because this may not be the real deal, but oh man.
The Great Depression is upon us.
I still ain't watched that movie.
You can watch it this weekend. Get the mic closer to him.
There was a discussion about the government shutdown,
Mm-hmm.
and this individual said her pastor came to her and said, most of our members, husband and wives, work for the government.
Man,
they're not getting a paycheck. So our tithes are going to start suffering. But they feed people once during the week. They're saying they're going to have an increase in people coming out to eat, but that tithes is not coming in, so it's going to be less money to purchase the food they need to feed the congregation, but there's going to be more coming out because there's no food coming in, and they won't be able to help these people pay bills because the people they relied on no longer have jobs.
And that's why we've been talking about prepare all of the tribes, even with the stuff that we're doing here. That's why we collectively come together so we can be prepared for stuff like that. So like that prompted me to just ask a question, like what government agencies are still being paid? It says during the government shutdown, agencies with essential functions such as national security, public safety, and operations funded by non-appropriated funds or fees continue to be paid. Examples include some staff at the Department of Defense, air traffic controller, law enforcement, postal workers, members of Congress, federal judges, and some political appointees that are still paid. What I don't understand is, how does Congress still get paid?
They
They
shut it down.
They shut the government down, but they still get paid. How does that make sense?
Because
we still pay taxes on everything. We still
My-
pay tax on everything.
My thing is, if you stop paying them, they'll work together. But they've been on vacation for 23 days.
So literally on vacation. So why is it that Congress can't, or the people cannot figure out a way to pass their own bill that Congress has to follow? If you shut the government down, you don't get paid. You cannot leave this hall until y'all come to an understanding. How hard is that?
We could do that, but we don't.
That don't make no sense.
Shut the government down, the state.
This shows you the illusion of power that they've given people, though. Oh yeah, we vote, and our votes matter. Really?
No, it don't.
They should do
Really?
They should do those people's way they did those Democrats in Texas. They told they could not leave until they did what they were supposed to do.
Why is that happening now?
Yeah.
Because contrary to what Trump and them is trying to spend, it's the Republicans' fault. And he running like a rogue government right now. Because again, executive orders are dictating policy. Now I'm like, so wait. Again, I'll go back to the Department of Defense is now the Department of War. They're going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to get the name changed, but Congress hadn't even passed it yet.
Yeah.
This stuff don't make no, look, bro, like, if y'all don't understand, this stuff don't make no sense.
Yeah, dude. He's Pharaoh. So let it be written. So let it be done.
So let it be done.
So let it be done.
So let it be done. So, right now, this is currently the second longest shutdown. Do y'all remember when the longest one was?
It went to Thanksgiving some years ago.
When?
No, it's Clinton.
Clinton?
Clinton, yeah.
You say Clinton? Who you?
Past Thanksgiving.
Who do you say?
It was either Clinton
I don't
or
know
the one that's in there now.
The longest government shutdown in U.S. history was a 35-day shutdown that occurred from December 22, 2018, like you said, to January 25, 2019. The same president.
Yeah.
So it's a pattern with this guy.
Yeah.
He always does it.
Yeah, now it's about it.
The stuff is wild, bro. Like, of course, we didn't see it coming. We didn't know when. But it's a pattern with this guy. So I had more, but just for the sake of time, let's eat. He might try to one up himself and go longer. I agree.
The holidays.
Yeah, so people will worship him more. He'll probably do it like before Thanksgiving, somewhere around there. That's what I mean. He wants, but he also wants praise too. Because look, their whole thing is what? Order out of chaos.
Yeah.
They created the chaos, so then they bring the order.
That's it. As long as the people keep doing what they're doing, staying out of it, and you know what people we talk about. As long as we keep staying out of it, he's upset because they haven't done what he expect them to do, and they've just been sitting and chilling at the house.
Yep.
And now he said, okay, let's mess with their food.
Yep.
And maybe we get a response, but he's upset because they're not doing what he wants them to do, which is hit the streets.
Yeah, so they're trying to see what it's going to take because again, this ain't the finality of it in my opinion. This is a testing, huh?
They'll have plans to create.
You know, Antifa and all them just to try to incite some riots and all this other type stuff. So keep a level head. Don't be with the
that and you know what the Epstein files released.
Man, I was just about to say that. Like, what happened to the e-files? We ain't talking about Epstein no more.
Congress is not
Because he keeps saying that it's a hoax. I'm like, man, you crazy.
Did y'all see the? I ain't never done it, but the video of it was this guy. It was like a whistleblower.
Yeah, but like just point the mic towards you at least. Yeah.
But yeah, it was this whistleblower. It was something the FBI got everything and this and that.
They do.
And then Trump made him director of the FBI, something like that.
And you know what's crazy? The FBI is still being funded because they're gonna keep it hush.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when they got that whistleblower, because they asked me like, what you're saying that the FBI have all this information. Now you're the director of the FBI. Where's this information? We're not able to release it. Like we release whatever we can release. He just kept avoiding the question. But I thought about it, I'm like, so this guy is a whistleblower to blow up your spot. You hire him to be the director of the same thing he blowing a whistle on.
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
If you believe in that thing.
It's a rigged game, man.
But like you said, he playing in our face. Like he playing in especially the United States. He literally playing in our face and they allow him.
I mean, stay out of it. Again, plan ahead. It's like we've been telling everybody for years. Stock up. Keep stocking up. If you still got it to stock up, stock up. We don't know how long that stuff's gonna last. I mean, we're not dependent on that no way.
Stock up up there.
But
focus on the Most High. Because
what? Say it again, sis.
Focus on the Most High. He wants to like mentally break people down. Like everybody keeps asking, like, how you doing during the summer shutdown?
Okay.
Right?
So, because this is the feast of what?
Tabernacles.
Okay. So I got a question for y'all. What is this?
Shelter.
A shelter, right? So in Hebrew, it's called a sukkah, right? So I was wondering like what it looked like. So I went to ChatGPT to see what it looked like, and that was the image it gave me, right? So whoever wants to read, go ahead. Grab the mic though. Yep.
Start at the top. Is this what the ancient Israelites stayed in the wilderness?
Right, that last picture.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes, that's exactly the idea. The sukkah or sukkah was a temporary, fragile shelter that the ancient Israelites lived in during their 40 years in the wilderness after leaving Egypt. Here's how it connects historically and symbolically.
So just like the elder was saying, for 40 years we just going in the wilderness, and we live. Y'all need to see what it looked like again. Look at this. Now I want y'all. We complaining about staying in these new modern day tents, and they were staying in these huts. 40 years. Can y'all even imagine that? Who would you have to really have faith in?
The Most High. You have to.
Look, that's what they stayed in. 3-sided. Keep going on.
One, what a sukkah was. A sukkah is a small temporary hut, typically. 3 sides made of branches, reeds, or woven cloth. A roof called a catch, made from cut plant material, palm, willow, or bamboo, is built so that you can see the stars through the roof at night. Okay. It was not permanent. It symbolized dependence on YAH'S protection not on walls or possessions.
So with all this stuff going on, because again, we're not worried about like the Hunger Games that's coming here, because we depend on who?
The Most High.
This whole feast day, this feast week, these 8 days is about returning to depending on the Most High. It don't matter what's going on in the world. We know who our source is. None of that stuff matters, right? Keep going.
Biblical foundation. You shall dwell in booths 7 days, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. Leviticus 23, verses 42 and 43. The Israelites used these shelters during the wilderness journey after the Exodus, and later, Yah commanded Israel to recreate them every year during the Feast of Tabernacles or Sukkot to remember his provision.
So again, it's to remember. Because again, people are just so worried. 'Cause we saw them crashing out about the government. Because that's become a lot of people's guide.
That's their source.
That's their source and their supply.
Yeah.
We got to stay focused on him. It don't matter what's going on in the world. We just had this. What's up? Go ahead, Jerome.
I'm just thinking about it.
Pass that money.
It just dawned on me. You saw who was crashing out.
Yeah.
You saw who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said that the government is their God, their source.
Mm-hmm.
We never got that assistance.
Nope.
So we have to lean and to depend on the Father and our elders to teach us how to survive
That part.
this
That part.
mess.
Because troublous times is coming, but we've always had to deal with troublous times. Because he's coming for a people that have gone through the furnace of affliction. Not for people that's had it easy.
A whole generation.
Come on, man. Come on, man. He goes through the furnace of affliction. He tries us. He renews us, right? Through this adversity, right? Keep going. Go ahead, Doc.
Symbolic meaning. In Hebrew thought, the Sukkot represented Yah's presence and protection, like the pillar of cloud and pillar of fire. Human frailty, what is that word?
Frailty.
Yeah, frailty. That life is temporary and dependent on Yah.
Man, everything.
Joy and gratitude for harvest and deliverance.
So this is also a harvest feast, right? It's also known as the Feast of Ingathering, right? So when he separates the wheat and the tares, one will be taken and another left. It's the same thing in a different context, right? They got that sickle and they ready, right? They're ready to reap that harvest. But with the same mindset, the people come together. The people that are truly seeking the Most High with our whole hearts. We got to be praying in one accord like, hey, Father, we ain't got no might in our hands. But you know what? You are our source and our supply. And we trust in you. We lean on you. We depend on you. We need you. We know that we don't have no might in our hands. We have no economic might because we can't work together. We have no military might because, again, we can't work together. We can't even get along with each other. So, again, we can't work together. So we have to get back to the basics of loving our neighbors as ourselves, right? Because you got to think, he made the Israelites do this every year. So even if you had problems with people, you still would have to deal with them before the Father. And you better not have no hate in your heart before you come to the Father, because he ain't going to hear nothing that you're talking about. You better get that stuff out of your heads, because we're going to need each other when this stuff really comes to fruition. Because everyone thinks that the law is done away with. But again, in Zechariah 14, this is about giving the Most High praise and gratitude and honor. Zechariah 14, because the world, they don't think that this stuff's going to happen. Verse 16 through 19, go ahead, Ak.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem.
Wait, the ones that are taken?
Nah.
Okay.
That are left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Most High of hosts, and to keep the feast of tabernacles.
So everybody's going to be keeping this thing, right? But he said that those that are left, not those that are taken, will go up and worship the King, Yahusha. That kills that doctrine in and of itself right there. Keep going.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague, wherewith the Most High will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the feast of the tabernacles.
So again, this is going to be mandatory.
Yeah.
And we're just rehearsing. We're just getting in the mental and physical space for this stuff to happen. This feast became synonymous with the king. So in the first century, they were like, oh man, the king coming. Talking about Mashiach, right? That's why we keep this feast. Reverence to the Most High and his Mashiach. Now we're going to stop there, but I would also add, in the first century, they also believed that Ezekiel 37 was the fulfillment of this thing. If you've never read Ezekiel 37, read it. If you ain't read it in over a year, read it again. Okay, we good? Man, pray us out.
Heavenly Father, we come and say thank you for the many blessings that you stored upon us. Thank you for being Yah and Yah all by yourself. We thank you for just waking us up, watching over us, leading us, and guiding us, Heavenly Father. We ask that you continue to watch over us. Protect us in this land. Protect us from this confusion, Heavenly Father. Let us look to the hills which come with our help and know it come from you. Let us not lean on our own understanding and the understanding of others, Heavenly Father. In this time, Heavenly Father, please make our way plain and let us choose you, Heavenly Father. Continue to watch over us, bless our families. Forgive us for all our sins, we pray. These are the blessings we ask in the dark Son, Yeshua's name. It is so.
It is so. Yahuwah is good and his mercy endures forever. Let everything that have life praise you, Yahuwah. Let everything that have breath praise you, Yahuwah.
Hallelujah.
We are, hallelujah. We are Yehuda. This is YAH'S Assembly. So please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like and share our content. And as always, until next time, Shalom, tribe.
Whoa.